right, cool. So I don't have messages from anyone else whether they'll join or not. Let's see. I'll start sending some messages out. So I think that YGG is doing a DAO to DAO workshop with Prime DAO. I don't think it's ended yet, so I don't think he'll be joining us, and I'm checking with Livia now. Well, Griff, you offered to mediate a discussion around the initial buy-in and some of the options that were tossed around and some of the directions we can go. I wonder if you are up for that.
Yeah, muted,
So yeah, let's start with just like getting a state of the room. So here's a poll. I'll put it in the Stewards channel just to like understand what the hell we're all thinking. And I'll give a quick little background. So I just put the poll in the Stewards channel. The idea is, hey, we have this multi-sig. It's going to hold 170K, which will likely be worth even more than that after pretty soon. And its job will simply be to do the will of the community, to push a button whenever, after votes and stuff, to execute votes on Snapshot or however we decide where this money goes. But there has to be some people on that multi-sig, right? And we need to figure out how we're going to elect them to the multi-sig. So do we either do it with sets of people, as in you vote like, okay, here's a list of 7 people, that's set A, another 7 people is set B, another 7 people is set C, and then the community votes on that? Do we elect individuals, so we just have a whole bunch of individual people, and then you kind of give points to each one through quadratic voting, and then we vote on individuals? Or do we have some other option that you would prefer? And if there's enough people for other or abstain, then we can continue this conversation and be like, okay, both those options suck. But if you like one of the sets or individual option, then vote for that. So take a couple minutes, like vote now. Let's get this show on the road.
When you mentioned various sets of 7 people, you mean following this idea of people proposing sets of 7 people, or you mean the stewards?
Yes, people proposing sets of 7 people. I mean, obviously, why isn't it? I'm not seeing my results. Are you guys seeing results on this poll?
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I'm not
Probably
seeing
at
any results.
Telegram.
Me neither.
Telegram vote.
Okay. Well, we can do a Telegram vote. But I like the anonymous. Is there anonymous vote on Telegram?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'll put it in. The TC General channel on Telegram. I'll make a quick poll really quick. I'm so sorry. I should have tested this. I've used this tool before, but I guess it was like a year ago.
Are we making a decision within Stewards or like everybody?
We're gonna try to just make this decision here, but there's no good Telegram chat that has everyone who's here.
Stewards.
Well, but Durganos is here. Yeah.
Okay. I think that the way I'm seeing it is that there's sort of like a different times of solutions. Like the solution can be had today, right? If we decide, like there's the solution and then the decision-making process. And it's sort of like if we can have small, like short, like now, immediate, medium term or long term. And the way that we decide, the way that the multi-sig happens, each of these multi-sigs has a timeline associated with it. Sorry, each of these decisions has a timeline associated with it, right? There is the voting of the stewards, which means if we choose 7 stewards, okay, that makes a very small list. That decision could be made in the next 24 hours. If we do voting with 7 people, so any TEC token holder, well, that would be maybe 4 or 5 days, right? We have to announce that these nominations are open, and then people would have to submit their nominations, and then we would have a token vote. So that minimum would be 4 or 5 days. And then the self-nomination process would probably take about the same, I would guess. I just want to sort of put that on the table too, in terms of like, I was thinking today, like maybe we just do a solution that is fast for being able to pass this proposal, and then look at other solutions for like, this is the way multi-sigs will be decided from now on. Sort of decoupling those two things was another thought that I had we might look at.
So I really don't think that we're going to have multi-sigs like this in the future. I think that most proposals will come with the multi-sig signers pre-allocated. This is a very rare situation. And also, I really think this is kind of a benign decision, and I don't think we should waste our time on it. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 people. Every minute that we spend talking about this is wasting 11 minutes of the collective intelligence of the TEC, and it is a waste of time. So my plan for this facilitation is to get a quick signaling, and then have a few people represent each side, and then a final vote. And if it's at least somewhat coherent, if you guys are down, then we just move forward, because like it's literally just executing on the community's decision. It is not like they are the ones deciding over this money. So I feel very strongly about this. I'm sorry. So I just want it to be over so we can be more efficient. So yeah, Telegram poll. It's in the community channel. It is not the final answer. It's just to start the conversation. Only 3 votes.
Do we have a different token engineering channel now in Telegram?
Yes, this is TE Commons, t.me/TE Commons. Let me, I can actually put this in the Stewards channel. Thank you, Durgadas, for speaking up. Six votes, getting closer. Going for that lucky number 11. Oh, nice. Mount Monty, you weren't even in this group. Good to get you in there. And Durgadas too. Nice. 10 votes. Does anyone want one more? Okay, well, this is at least good signaling. Even with one more vote, I think there's a bit of a majority opinion of various sets of 7 people, and here we go. Individuals bringing it in, keeping it spicy. Well done. Okay, so now let's hear who has a strong opinion of having. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to need an extra 5 minutes. So 10 more minutes. We want to put on a timer for 3 minutes. Who wants to present why we should have sets of 7 people? Anybody? Olivia, go for it.
Yeah, I think a group of people, we have an understanding of the whole group at once, and we don't transform this into a political decision about each individual. So there's not a judgment of each person, but a strategy for that group of people. I think it would create less friction, that we would have a quicker result, that we would have less discussion about why this person, why that person. And I think we're all capable of doing this. So if we have a collective strategy, that works better than having individual strategies.
Wow. Keeping it to 30 seconds. Okay, yeah, there's 3 minutes. Go ahead, Edu.
So I used to think that this set of 7 people was the more productive one, but less collaborative for the community until you just justify the reasoning of it. And I don't see the point of individuals if at the end you just explain about the community and just making the decision. So for me, 7. I mean, this is effectiveness, and it doesn't harm the community. So I don't see the point of delaying it if delaying it by choosing individuals will actually be harmful for the process. So yeah, that's it.
And there's a minute left to argue in favor of sets of 7. Does anyone else have any things they want to add? Quicker decision?
Quicker decision, yeah. Don't have to go through the process of nomination and recognizing nominations, and just submit sets and vote.
Yeah, I'll second that. That's why it has received my vote actually too, because it will be something that is, can be explained, can be sort of rationalized. I think that the person that's selecting the 7 is going to have to make sure that everyone has consent and make sure that, to just do a lot of that legwork actually. That said, I was really compelled by watching the ENS delegate applications and those self-nominations, and I thought that would be an amazing way. But I don't know that our community is ready for that right now. But that would be an amazing way to do these selections in the future.
Anyone else want to argue in favor of 7 sets? Or sets of 7? Okay, then we'll leave the 20 seconds off and start for the argument of the other one, individuals. Does anyone want to say why individuals are a better solution?
No, I can take it. Yeah, I think individuals is better solution just because you like the community. You have a better signaling of what the community. I mean, it's not like a person is a politic thing, but if someone is like, okay, I like stewards, and someone is like, oh, I like, everyone being represented, the whales, blah blah blah. And then when you choose individuals, like if more people are choosing stewards, maybe like on this multi-sig you have 6 stewards, but at least you have 1 token holder, so it's better represented. At the same time, it's easier to get done. Like when you make groups of 7, how you make those groups of 7, and that adds an extra step. And yeah, and I really like the way like Shapeshift or ENS were doing it, and they were just self-nominating and saying what they would be good for, and then the community deciding. I don't know, I think it's simpler, and yeah, that's it.
Great. Anyone else want to argue for individuals?
I also think it would be good for minority voices to be heard and to be accounted in the conversation, because in these groups of 7 people, maybe there will be like a lot of people that would be repeated in different options. But I think by individuals we can have more diversity on the proposals.
Anyone else want to argue in favor? Okay, then we'll bank our extra minute here, and we'll have what I would like to propose is that if we have a poll with over 60, now there are 12 people here. And so if we are over 66 majority, so then I think we just go forward and go with it. If it's even if it's exactly 66 majority. Is that so? Because I would say that's not a polarity decision so much. It's like, you know, only basically if 3 people say one and the rest 9 people say the other, then it's still, then that's fine. But if it's worse than those odds, then it's not. So as long as we have 66 voting on one side, we win. So I think you can actually, can we change our poll? No. Can you? No, it doesn't look like it. So I'll just make the exact same poll. Wow, I can't even like... Oh yeah, you can retract vote. You can right click and retract vote and then vote again. So in the TEC Commons channel, you can right click, retract vote, and then just vote again. So we have 10 votes. Would like to see it get to 12. I see who just joined. Aussie Cross. I don't know if you want to participate. You definitely don't have to. But it's in the TE Commons poll or TE Commons Telegram room, which there's a link to in the Stewards chat. Did anyone?
I don't see the second poll.
It's not a second poll. It's the same poll. You can right click the same poll, and there's a retract vote button, and so you can retract vote and then change your vote.
I see.
Is there anyone who's not voting? Because there's an abstain option. I just want to say, like, you don't have to vote for the 2 options. There's abstain or other. Because if the 2 people who didn't vote voted for individuals, they could change the outcome. Anybody? Okay, well, I'm just gonna assume this is the final results. Looks like we have 8 to 10. Oh, here we go. Nice, 11 votes. Thank you. Thank you, whoever did that. I want to keep it spicy, but still not enough. There would have to be, who didn't vote? Is there someone on this call that didn't vote? I voted. I think I voted. Yeah, I voted.
Maybe someone from, maybe just someone from the Telegram group just voted. I mean, it's open public, so maybe it's
That's true. But did anyone in this call not vote? I mean, there's 12 of us, so for sure one of us didn't vote.
I assume Aussie Cross.
I guess so. I guess so. Okay, cool. Well, this is 73%. I would say this is good enough to go forward. In my opinion, unless there's like major objections, it seems like we have a pretty strong majority. And the next move would be to create sets of 7, so that anyone can do, right? And that would be the way we nominate a set of 7. So, you know, like, I know Zeptimus wants to get some top token holders out there. We can still do that, you know, DM some people and say, hey, let's get, you want to be on a multi-sig that holds this and executes things? It'll be fun. I think it'd be fun to get Zargam on a multi-sig like this, right? And get people who aren't stewards. I think it'll be fun. And so let's anyone who wants to can go find a set of 7. And who's actually making the forum post for this? Or who's carrying the flag for getting this forward?
I can do it.
Well, I was just gonna append the OG forum post for the initial buy-in, if that's okay. Then we can have, so we don't have all these scattered proposals that are all related.
Okay, sure.
So I'll just make another appendum and we can go from there.
Cool. And
so where are submissions happening on the forum?
I don't see why it couldn't happen there, unless anyone has any objections.
No, I think that forum post is pretty clean.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
I like it. Nice and centralized. Let's okay. So I had to dip out and talk to somebody here, but what I hear is that we've got a nomination for groups of 7, and the person who's nominating this group of 7 is responsible for cat herding. So you need to make sure every person on your set of 7 has said yes. Okay.
And they set of 7 have to be token holders. Those are the only 2 requirements.
Right. That is already stipulated in the forum post. So they need to be tech holders, and they need to be able to respond to signature requests within 24 hours. Or do you want to change it to 48? I like 24. Okay.
I like 12.
Whoa, Nate, that's spicy, man. I need my beauty
Get with
sleep.
it.
Poor
Just 'cause I
Ivy.
want to move on to the rest of the agenda too. Timelines for this. How long does the community have to make these nominations?
A week?
2 days. Like,
Nate.
let's get
12
going. 'Cause we
hours.
still got to send the actual buy-in proposal, in.
What if we give it till Monday?
Okay.
Some people work well over the weekends, like getting hold of Z. If I wanted to make something with Z on a multi-sig, like I could. It might be hard to score like his awareness into the weekend.
So end of day Monday.
Just to make things a little easier, is there someone in this call that would not like to be nominated? Okay.
Eduardo says no.
I'm very bad with money. No, not a good idea.
It's all right.
So
All you
maybe
have to do
you
is push the
shouldn't be in
button.
there. It's just-
I love how well you know yourself. All right, cool. Any last things before we move on to the next topic?
Just quick question to Nate. I remember I think Tam shared something that you didn't want to be in, just giving a second chance.
Yeah, no. I'm good with it. My only concern was that we kind of did not talk about the liability potential of multi-sigs, and so I think that's something that is one of those little shadows that maybe should be addressed with those who end up being in the final 7. But no, I'm okay with being it.
Yeah, I cleared that up already. That's why he was in my proposal, actually. I already proposed 7 stewards. I guess I'll leave that one alone, and I won't submit another one. But yeah. Okay. All right. So believe it or not, what?
Oh, I was just gonna. Sorry, the rain's probably very interruptive. I have to dip because I have a meeting conflict. So if there's anything else pertinent around this that you need to tell me now or DM me. I'm sorry about that. Just everything shifted this week.
Okay. See ya.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. By the way, Griff, 20 minutes. Like, you nailed it. I don't know if you noticed that. It was over 20 minutes. We've been talking since then. So that was an amazing feat. So Eduardo just shared with me while we were talking about voting that we actually made it to the Optimism Retroactive Public Good Funding. We are not high on the list, but we're on the list. So this is pretty amazing. Token Engineering Commons was voted to receive retroactive public goods funding from Optimism team. Yeah, that was very cool to see. I just want to say it was amazing how Jean just did it. And then it was like, hey, is this okay? And I was like, I don't know. Can I see what you wrote? But the deadline closed and I was like, no, maybe we could take it back. But like, it's just really cool. Please make sure you praise Jean for this. That was, it's not the money. It's really just that like, nah, we're there. Somebody in the Optimism team thinks that the Token Engineering Commons is doing cool shit. And that's nice. Eduardo raised the question about how we receive this money. So I think the next step is to yeah, I guess speak with the optimism team. And do we have a solution for that?
In the end, it can just go into the hatch. There, people have rage quit and the amount of money that people rage quit in. So we just have to convert it to wrapped-xDAI and send it to the hatch DAO, and then it'll all work itself out.
Perfect.
There's also the Gitcoin money, right? That maybe we just use the same sort of thing.
Can we put money
Yeah.
into the hatch until we reach the level of people that rage quit? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh wow, good.
So we can just add money to the hat. I mean, it's an address, so it can just receive. You can't stop an address from receiving funds. So
We can make it so tokens
Oh,
aren't
I
issued.
see. But
yeah,
okay.
tokens won't be issued. The way Ethereum works, it's really weird, but like the address has no awareness that it even received a token. The token contract has its own balances, and you can just be like sending money anywhere you want, and you can't stop it. And the contract has no awareness that money was sent there. So when we were actually trying to mint tokens, you had to first approve and then tell the contract to pull money out of your account. And that's because like the contract needs to pull the money out and then take actions to mint the tokens based off of the money it pulled. But if you just send money there, nothing happens.
Can I be a contract address to you receive money? So jokes apart, really, like I mentioned, praise Gene. He is someone who is seeking to sort of contribute to us in any way possible. And I think it's a good example of when we sort of just give a little hand to someone as a contributor, they can just take action by themselves. And sometimes it pays off in a very interesting way like this one. So please just praise him. You're muted, Tim.
I was just saying there's Giveth here, which was number 17. That's pretty amazing, almost 25K. There's a lot of, I mean, it's the important.
Giveth was tied for 12th. I just want to.
Oh yeah, it's tied for 12. There you go. There's a lot of 12s. I think the thing that really stood out for me is like look at the company. Like these are amazing public fund projects, and we're now like noted as one of those. And I think we should all be really, really, really psyched about this. Maybe amplify this. Chewy, if you're here, this would be something really cool to promote.
Yes, of course.
Cool. All right. Temperature check of the community. Halfway through, I think maybe it's worth a few minutes. Yeah, it's always worth it. So why don't we maybe take 1 minute, 1.5 minute each and do a temperature check? Maybe Juan Carlos, will you kick us off?
Yes, Tam. I feel that this has been a very interesting week. Like a lot of things are happening. The param parties, even though that can like have more people, I think they have been really interesting, and I loved Manu and Durga's session of the Graviton training. I feel like I am actually learning more from the training than what I am trying to teach. So I feel that's a great experience, and yeah, I think that things are going really well. I also liked a lot the Crypto Cities article that Vitalik wrote. I think it's very interesting to start seeing like more political and social concern with the usage of these technologies, like from a leader of the space. And yeah, I'm all good. I will pass to Libby.
Thank you, Juan. I feel very excited about the development of Gravity, and so much praise to Juanca and Durgadas mostly for that. And also Manu presentation yesterday was so beautiful, so like tight together and offering like great insights that we really need to talk about leadership and talk about some of the topics that they have a weight from our historical relationship with like societies. And I think we are experimenting so many things here. And I've been reflecting a lot also on, like, yesterday's SoftGov call really hit me in a way, because I was thinking like, wow, when did I start becoming so like making things bureaucratic? Is that something that it's happening with me? Is there how to always look for the most simple path? And I think it's overwhelming when there is such a complexity of things happening at the same time. And then we want to hear, or speaking for me, I want to hear everyone and make sure that things are representing the community well. But then sometimes it just ends up on overthinking and overcomplicating, and how to bring more simplicity to everything. So this has been my focus, and I'll pass to Griff.
Yeah, the temperature check is hot. There's always new people at the param parties. It's really fun. People I've never met before that are coming in with skills and interest, and we're just getting it started, so that's really exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of outreach soon with these param parties going in other discords. I feel like, again, everyone's just like swarming. Gene got us $3,000 and a lot of good rep, from public goods funding, and Mitch is taking on the calendar, and everyone's just doing their thing. Manu had a badass gravity call. It's just like everyone's owning their thing. Everyone is killing it. So it's just, I feel like we're just on a waiting game, basically. It's kind of like we're just kind of going. And at this point, we know what we're doing, and we just have to execute and make it happen. Love the post by Olivia. I think I did help write a little bit. That's probably why I like it so much. And I think it sets a good roadmap for us. And what's really cool is it seems like it also sets the date of our hatch, which is really fun. Probably like the 2nd or 3rd of December, or sorry, the date of the Commons upgrade. We should be able to do the upgrade. Also, Sem put in hours and hours of work into the Common Swarm stuff this week, and I'm really excited to see the results tomorrow and see where we're at, and make sure that we can start having demos again for the upgrade, and so people see what front ends they're going to use. Also, I made an update on the 75% governance give back forum post. That's probably not going to happen, but we're going to get the precursors in to make it happen after lunch. But the forum, when I looked at the forum, it was just like, wow, there is so much going on. And it's just so cool. So cool. I'll pass it to Durgadas.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it was a good week. I was a little more involved than I probably should be, given my workload this week, but there was just so much happening that I felt like I wanted to be around. So I guess that's a good temperature check as anything. I'm really too busy to participate, but I do it anyway. So that's, I guess, my basic temperature check. I could say a lot of things, but I'm also pretty excited about this. All these, I just got my cards from the Liberating Structures folks, and then I do think what Livy just said, might be served to, might be a good thing to do to try to check out, what we're talking about. Is it, in the Cynefin side of the thing, is it, clear? Is it complicated? Is it complex? Or is it chaotic? And that way we can have something to sort of guide us right from the start. That way we're not trying to figure it out right in the middle, So I think that's why I was trying to make that suggestion before, and the Liberating Structures stuff has a similar kind of effect in terms of meetings and direction. So thanks. Oh, I'll pass it to Manu.
Thanks, Lucas. Yeah, I've received really positive feedback on yesterday's presentation on leadership, and on the one I did on Omega, which was by another economic Nobel Prize winner, Amartya Sen, on the capability approach. And so I think what's coming out of that is creating Tam also gave me the idea of creating some sort of like personal development group, not a working group, but sort of like a weekly event like the Nonviolent Communication Book Club or the Spotlight, where I go into topics that would be in the middle of like comunitas, Omega, and SoftGov, being that leadership, first principles, critical thinking, meta thinking, that type of thing that affects the way we make decisions. So I'm gonna work on that. That's the temperature for me, and I want to work on things that are critical for the commons upgrade. Yeah, that's pretty much for me. I'll pass it to Chuy.
Thank you, Manu. This is great. Like I'm writing like a retweet, and I'm also like tagging the people that gave us their vote, and it's just like unbelievable. Like so much is happening, and it's like, yeah, it's really good times for being as prepared for the commons upgrade as we are, and it just makes me really happy and proud. So yeah, there's still some stuff to be done before the commons upgrade. So yeah, let's make that last effort before the big moment. I'll pass it to Nate.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Temperature is good. I see a lot of things going on in different areas. I think there are a couple of things that have been kind of looming overhead, and that is the reward system and progress on the reward system for each of the working groups. I know that I don't know if the update of it yet, but maybe only a handful of working groups have fully submitted, and then trying to figure out comprehensive reward system after the commons upgrade. So those are the only things that I've seen that have been like kind of on the minds of others. But outside of that, everybody's been, in their own lane and chipping away. So it's been pretty good overall. And I will
Nate,
pass it to Wonka.
do you mean the group funding, or do you mean the reward system?
The reward system in particular. Post working group funding.
How are the working groups related to the reward system?
Just how they want to distribute those rewards.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'll pass it to Wonka. Sorry,
I'm not understanding actually. The reward system is going to handle the distribution of rewards.
Mm-hmm. And then each working group will have a certain amount of funding that they'll each have, right?
Oh yeah, okay. That's the working group.
The combination of the two, I guess.
Got it. Okay.
Is what I'm considering the reward system. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, those are the only two things. And then I will pass it to Wonka.
Wonka did go, but Eduardo didn't.
Apologies, Edo.
I'm still hyped from the orientation call. There were 14 people, so it was quite an interesting approach, and I'm also it's interesting. A lot of orientation, not enough, like 5 or 6 people from orientation that arrived saying, "Oh, I heard Griff on the podcast." So it's like, oh, that's interesting. People, I don't know. I feel like there is this point. Like, I feel there is this point where the project itself, it's sort of getting talked about around, and I feel that the timing of building a community and maturing the community, it's matching the time of people reaching us. So it's really interesting to see how things will unfold. So yeah, I don't know. It is exciting. Yeah. I felt a lot of gratitude on yesterday's calls with SoftGov call, sorry, with Levy's questions and so on. I think it's an interesting exercise also to bring to the rest of the community, not only the people who assist to one single call. And that's it. And I will pass it on to Septimus.
Thanks, Edu. Yeah, I want to second like almost Griff and Edu. Like there is a lot of engagement. I feel especially for the param parties, and there is a lot of people who who's interested in talking into economics, and yeah, it's like I think it's been awesome, and also like it's good like we finally get some kind of solution for the multi-sig. So yeah, it seems like it's clean now, and we know what's the path. And yeah, I don't know, like I feel great. I'll pass it to Aussie Cross.
Welcome, Aussie Cross. So this is where we normally just say a few words about how we feel about what's going on in the community or ourselves, and you're very welcome to say a few words if you wish to.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, I am joining for the first time, so I'm just trying to like really get a grasp of what is going on in the community. But I don't really have much to say now until when I really have a better understanding of what is going on.
Cool. Well, you're very welcome to hang out and listen too.
All right, thanks.
Cool. And then from my perspective, this was a strange week, right? Because it's like there was the multi-sig discussion, and then it was just like it was only Zep and myself and Mitch commenting on the forum, and it was like we're trying to find like what the right thing is, and there's just a lot in there, And then it seems like in the Stewards channel we came to like, oh, okay, I think we could figure out like there is some really good options, but those options seemed like we weren't ready for them yet. I'd love to see something like that, like delegations, even delegations for stewards in the future, actually, in self-nominations and these kinds of things. So it's really sort of put a seed in my mind. So I think it worked out well. I'd say we also offboarded 5 stewards this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about it and the ceremony that we'll have for them tomorrow. I don't know if everyone saw Santi's message in the Discord. I followed up with him just to be like, is this what it means? Would you like to offboard? Would you like to step away for a little while? You're always welcome to come back, and he does need to take care of his family right now, so he'd like to be included in the offboarding for this week. And then on the other side, like fireworks, there's so much going on, and there's so many new people, and it's like everyone seems to be operating at like just the best version of themselves, for lack of saying it in a different way, and it's just a pleasure to be able to watch this actually and to be part of this. All right, so I'll move on. GitHub notifications, have you checked them? I was talking about the Stewards Council tomorrow. It's dedicated to the first of its kind ceremony for offboarding stewards. It's going to be kind of an honoring of their contributions, and I think that we wouldn't be here today if they didn't do the stewarding that they did in the past. So it's Santi, Craig, Suga, Marco, Jess, and Sem. Even though Sem was a while ago, he actually wants to celebrate his offboarding after the Commons upgrade is done, and I thought, hell, I'll be in Barcelona to celebrate with you then. So there'll maybe another ceremony for Sem, but we're going to include all of the stewards who are offboarding at the same time into tomorrow's ceremony. So Sem won't join us, Suga won't join us, Marco will join us, Santi maybe, depends on his situation at home. And I think we're still waiting to hear back from Craig and Jess, just to let everyone know what's going on there. Promotion of the CDD params parties. I threw this on the agenda. We don't need to raise it if it's not an issue. I just wanted to see if we are okay with, if there's any thoughts around more communications we need, or what kind of communications. And maybe I'll drop this to you, Chewy, if you want to just sort of give an update on maybe where you need help too. If you need help. One thing, so Eduardo and myself and maybe other people have been sending personal messages directly in the DMs of our hatchers. The message was long, so I ended up posting it on the forum. So now we're sending a short message with a link to the forum post that has all that information in it. And I feel like people could feel free to reuse that if they want to. And then I'll pass to you, Trey, if you have anything you want to share about it.
Sorry, Tim. I was a little bit distracted with Twitter.
Okay. Well, I just want to ask, is there anything that you need help with in terms of support for promotion of the params parties, of the configuration dashboard? Is there any help that you need there?
Well, we're gonna be pushing some more content, like the flyers and reminders, like daily reminders of each schedule. So if anyone is interested in hosting a param party, like I think the best place that you could do that is the calendar that we made for it, and then we will get that once you posted the event, we will get that scheduled in the regular TEC calendar, and also the flyers that we're going to be using for Twitter. So yeah, this is if you're interested and if you would like to support us, just yeah, sharing with a personal commentary of what you find important in this can do a lot. So yep. Yeah,
cool.
that would be it.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Eduardo?
No, I think the outreach will go through this week, and yeah, we hope that it will work. And I really like the Twitter sort of graphic and stuff that was shared. I think the only thing I would probably suggest is to just this framework of this is an educational process. Everyone is welcome, because we had this question in the orientation today of someone who was like, "Oh, but I don't have a knowledge. Can I join that call without like knowing too much?" You know. So there is this barrier of people when they heard the term economics or so on. So maybe there a little bit of explanation that everyone is welcome could be, no matter your level. At least to listen could be interesting to have on the comms.
Okay. Yeah, noted. I think Livia also raised the params is so ubiquitous for us. We know what it means, but I think outside our community, people might not know what a param party is, and it might not click with them that this is something cool about, you know, initializing an economy and augmented bonding curve. So I think it's a good point. Meaning what a params party is might be helpful too, or using another way to explain it. Should I move on, or is there anything else we should?
Is there any param parties tweets that we should tweet? I was just trying to find one, but you know, we're all here, and 12 retweets makes something real nice, you know?
Yeah, there is one. I think I retweeted it. It was the amazing flyer by somebody. It's
yeah, the one that Rodri made. I'm dropping the link in the Amplified channel.
In the Amplified, cool, yeah. Yeah.
Are we doing a small? I don't know if this is out of the context, but we have a few hatchers that have a wide range of followers, for example, Woki and so on. Have we send a public invitation kind of thing to them to be like, hey, you know, you're welcome to join us, just for them to sort of share it too. It could be an interesting process, maybe for people we know, or for in the case of Griff that just went to the Bankless podcast. You know, we have these small connections that we can sort of use for distribution.
So personally invite some people is what you're suggesting?
Through Twitter. So basically, they can just bring visibilization to it.
Yeah, I think it can be a good idea too. Okay, and maybe that's something everyone can take on individually, like the people that you feel comfortable reaching out to would make sense too. Cool, okay. Tomorrow's community call, just a reminder that we don't have a spotlight tomorrow. Last week we ended early because we went fast. So guess what? This week you can take your time when you're doing your updates on the community call tomorrow.
Yeah, just briefly interrupt. Sorry, I'm interrupting too much today. I did feel that last call was like in a hurry. Like I felt we were like rushing, even though there was no timer, and it really made me feel a little bit uncomfortable at some point because I felt there were some people who were new or who were like there, and I was like, this is too like fast. So just that, and I don't know if it is a place to it, but I think we can also, if there's any question, we probably, if we have the time at the call, to just allow people to ask questions regarding the updates that we are giving, because it feels one way, and if it's a community call, not a informing the community call, kind of thing. So I don't know how possible it is, but I think just a little more of engaging with the persons who are in the call could be interesting. Just at least open the window to that. Just small suggestion to it.
Yeah, not a bad idea to sort of open the call for questions at the end. Or yeah, that's not a bad idea. Should we plan on that, Griff? You're the host and the moderator of that call. Cool.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't mind ending early too, but what I would say is that it would be great to have a plant, because when you do these, oh hey, does anyone have any questions? Everyone's afraid. Everyone's afraid to go first. They need the first follower, the person to say, yeah, I got a question. So if anyone wants to be the plant, or recruit a plant and just give them the permission to be the first question answerer, it would help a lot.
I agree. And also, I mean, it's not only for new people, but also for ourselves. Like I don't go to Gravity. So if Gravity makes a summary of their week, there's a space where I can also ask Juan, like, hey, can you just describe a little bit what it was about, It's not only about new people, it's about ourselves too, and being informed about what other working groups are doing. So I think it's a public exercise, not only for new people.
Also, there was something we did in the beginning of the community calls that was opening time for sharing about proposals. And proposals sometimes might not come from a steward, but I think opening that more and more would make people feel more comfortable to make their own proposals and share things in the forum, like opening a little space that might not be working group oriented.
Are there any proposals that would be eligible for tomorrow that come to mind?
Also, I think, for example, now that we are having this visibility in other spaces, it could be a nice moment to also, for example, because I don't like community or like TEC related things that happen. Like we only share, for example, when we went to ETC and so on. So it could be also nice to just like, hey, Griff was in Bankless. X person went to Lisbon and exposed this, or incoming. It could be nice to also have this this little process of when we were visible at some point.
Okay, we have 5 minutes left, and there's 3 things I want us to cover, and we need to cover on this agenda. So I think these ideas are great, but maybe this is not the space and time that we have for it. I know Nate is looking at yeah, that's right. There's going to be a forum post. I think that these are the kind of great ideas that we can sort of capture in a forum post and then plan for. All right, there's a call for help. It's me calling for help. There is a task to roll out sesh.fyi, but it's lots of little things, and it's probably a few hours worth of work of organizing the, there's a dashboard, which is a little buggy, and you need to use the sorry, I'm not explaining this well at all. I'm going to try again. So the Sesh FYI is the bot that's going to handle the call announcements going forward, and we're going to retire Vibe IVs. And so Vibe IV is helping create a system. He has to create a new bot to support this bot, but it's better, I promise. But in order to set up all of these call announcements, there's probably a few hours piece of work to do. And I was wondering if anyone in your working groups would be willing to support this. And if it's not anyone in here, then I would ask that we could sort of distribute this in Comunitas and see if we can get some newcomers that could help with this too. Because it's not, you don't really need to know the TEC to do this. It's more of like, we just need to have a few hours to do it. Okay, there is this, which I didn't get to last week. This is the new onboarding survey. Now, one of the things that's important for this working groups is we would like to be able to guide these newcomers to the working group. But if each working group, or working group coordination lead or steward could just give a few words about how they would like their working group to be described to somebody new, I think it's going to be helpful for us instead of us trying to jump into these definitions. So governance and culture, for example, for SoftGov, ethics, mission, value for Omega. So I will probably send this individually to everyone to ask you if you can update the words that you would like to use. The guide is essentially a bot. People will land, they will be asked a few questions. And when they're asked about, you know, what interests they have, it will match them to a working group. So it's going to be an automated way to start matching people to working groups. I'm giving you the heads up so that you know when it lands in your DMs or in the ZenHub issue that is open for it. And then lastly, Lydia, I see that you added two things. Last day to vote sounds important. Do you want to share more about last day to vote?
Yeah, so there's two things actually. One is the params proposals that were submitted before today. So until the 2nd, as we have in the forum post, should be deleted. I don't know if they were already, but I guess Griff or someone from the params team has to do that.
They're not deleted. It's just that we're going to change the repo, so they'll just like the repo. They'll be there, but then we in the back end, all the new proposals will go into a new repo, and so you can actually go to the old repo and still import your old parameters. The link would still work, but then none of these ones that are currently proposed will show up on the new voting interface. The new token log. The token log is for the new repo that doesn't say test issues for parameters. That's the repo we're in now.
Okay, so I have to update that in the forum post. And then it's the last day to vote on Snapshot. We had 7 votes last time I looked at it. Let me see now. But we need well, we already reached quorum according to the hatch params. That's what we're using for this vote. So it's not that bad, but we should take the precedent for getting at least 10 voters because that's the new param. So if you haven't voted yet, please go there.
Can you share what the link, are you talking about the snapshot param?
Yeah, the vote that is on Snapshot. I'll put the link here in the agenda.
Because there's 10 people.
Oh, the link is here. I put it there.
Yeah, I know I wasn't able to click on it. I don't know why. Maybe I click. Yeah, I don't know why I can't click on it, to be honest.
Put it again. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'll try like that. So yeah, okay, it is this one. There's more than 7 people. There's 10 people.
So people voted in the last 10 minutes. That's great.
Oh, cool. Cool. Okay. We're at the top of the hour. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.